Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be reviewing the M41A3 Walker Bulldog. This is a currently rank 3 battle rating 5.0 premium light tank in the Chinese Ground Forces tech tree that costs 2,980 Golden Eagles and comes with 10 backups. In this review, I'll be going over everything that you need to know about it, including its stats, how it plays, I'll go over its strengths and weaknesses, I'll give some scores in several key areas, and then, of course, I'll give my final recommendation and if I feel that this vehicle is worth purchasing or not. As always, please consider subscribing if you'd like more content like this, as I always greatly appreciate it. But with that said, let's get into the review. Now to start, I'll place its stat card here on the side of the screen. Important things to note are its BR, its power to weight ratio, and its lack of armor. Now for how it plays. Put simply, the M41A3 is a downgraded version of the standard M41 in many tech trees, as it only has the M339A3 solid shot shell as its primary armament, whereas other variants can have APDS and even Heat FS. Because of this massive difference in shell capability, the M41A3 in this review sits at least a full BR lower than other variants, such as the American M41A3 and the German M41. In my opinion though, it is more than worth the trade. The M41A3 maintains the same excellent mobility of the Walker Bulldog, but brings it down to the 5.0 BR bracket, which makes this one of the fastest vehicles in any match that it will be in. Because of this, its roles are typically going to be flanking, scouting, and base capping, though can also be used for sniping due to its excellent cannon and pretty decent ammo that it holds. While not top of the line, the M339 APBC solid shot has over 170mm of armor pen, which at 5.0 BR is more than capable, especially given that you'll be typically flanking and hitting weak side armor. The major downside to this armament, however, is that it lacks explosive filler, meaning that it will be substantially less likely to get a one-shot kill compared to similar shells with explosive filler. In fact, the armament on the M41A3 is essentially identical to the Firefly in terms of performance, except that it's on a substantially faster and more fragile platform. Speaking of its fragility, you will want to stay away from front lines when using the M41A3, as it has only 31mm of armor at max and is largely covered by only 25mm of armor almost everywhere else, meaning that it will be vulnerable to nearly every type of weapon that it will face, excluding most instances of MGs, and even that is not guaranteed. In short, however, as with any vehicle, it is highly important to use the strengths of the M41A3 to your advantage. Making excellent use of its phenomenal power to weight ratio is top priority, which will then allow you to fully utilize the cannon and overcome most of its shortcomings, while also minimizing your weak armor. If you do this, the M41A3 will be an excellent vehicle, especially given its relatively low BR placement compared to its peers. Now with that being said, let's get into its strengths and weaknesses. Now first, for its strengths. It has relatively good armor pen at 5.0 BR with its M339 APBC shell. Second, it is very fast, especially relative to BR. The M41A3's power to weight ratio is less than 5% worse than the M18 Hellcat, which means that it has excellent maneuverability. For its third strength, it has an HMG on top that can help take out light vehicles and aircraft. Fourth, this vehicle has excellent neutral steering, ranking among the best of the best in its BR. Fifth, it features a commander sight, which is very rare at this BR. Sixth, it features a small profile, making it difficult to hit, especially when combined with its speed. For its seventh strength, not that it should matter too much, but it does come with a camo net, which could help reduce visibility, especially when in brush. Beyond this, it has a relatively large interior relative to a light tank, and also having 4 crew members. For its ninth strength, it has a great turret traverse rate that goes up to 24 degrees per second, depending on crew skill, which is very good at this BR, and beyond this, it has a good reload rate. Now finally, however, it has premium RP and SL bonuses. Now with that said, let's get into its weaknesses. First and foremost, it has poor armor around the entirety of the vehicle, even being weak to most strafing runs. Second, you're limited to only being able to use the solid shot AP shell, outside of course, its HE and smoke shells, which really aren't going to have much use in and of themselves. Third, this vehicle gets into limited up tiers fairly often, meaning that you'll oftentimes get into 5.7 BR matches, which is kind of a pain in the butt. And finally, it has relatively large ammo racks that use up a lot of the interior. Now with all that said, let's get into how I score this vehicle. First, for armament, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. This could go any way that you like it, but considering its BR and considering that it's a light tank, the M41A3 actually has a very good amount of firepower. It can go through over 170 70mm of armor at 5.0 BR. It has a good reload rate, and the turret traverse is actually pretty darn great for its BR. Mixed with the top-mounted HMG for taking out light vehicles and aircraft, this is a surprisingly good vehicle at its BR in terms of firepower. Unfortunately, however, it only has solid shot ammunition, which has a lesser chance of being a one-shot kill against enemies. It also has a somewhat small, though not too bad, shell size of 76mm, which will further reduce post-pen damage. Now for mobility, I give this an 8.25 out of 10. While not absolutely amazing, the M41A3 will be faster than nearly all vehicles, friend or foe, on the battlefield, up tier, down tier, or otherwise. This is due to its excellent power to weight ratio of 21.6 horsepower per ton. Mix in amazing neutral steering as well as great maneuverability at low and high speeds, and you get a top-notch vehicle in regards to maneuverability. In fact, I may have been lowballing it. Let's give it an 8.5 out of 10 in terms of mobility. It even has a pretty darn good reverse speed at this BR of around 19 kilometers per hour. Now with all that said, for survivability, I give it a 3.25 out of 10. While it has poor survivability relative to medium and heavy tanks, as well as of course most SPGs, the M41A3 has decent survivability relative to light tanks. It has just enough armor to ricochet some larger shells, HMGs, and to protect it against some strafing runs with HMGs and bombs at a distance. Even still, of course, this vehicle will die incredibly easily compared to heavier tanks. At least the crews decently space out on the interior, leading to slightly fewer crew kills than one might expect. Oh, and it does have a smoke shell, which is actually fairly useful in some instances, although of course it does not have smoke grenades, which would be much more useful. Now with that being said, overall, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. While obviously flawed in terms of survivability and lacking advanced ammo options, the M41A3 puts together a surprisingly capable package, boosted by the fact that it's 5.0 BR. If this were ever to increase, the delicate balance would be easily upset, putting it into a likely 5.5 out of 10, give or take, around that category, if even that. But because it sits where it does, the M41A3 has very good firepower mixed with first-rate mobility, which makes this Walker Bulldog variant incredibly powerful. Now with that said, do I recommend this vehicle? Quite simply, yes, I do. It is a surprisingly capable vehicle that can do pretty much everything that you might need it to do, outside of course, front lining. Because of this relative versatility and fairly low cost of 2,980 Golden Eagles, or around $20 USD, I'm fairly confident in saying that this will be a great vehicle to grind out the Chinese ground tech tree through rank 5 for almost everybody. If you are a fan of light tanks and their playstyle, this might be among the best such tanks relative to BR in War Thunder. It's that damn good, and I give it my Tankenstein seal of approval because of it. This has immediately become one of my favorite mid-BR tanks in game, and is easily among my favorite light tanks regardless of BR. Now with that said, thanks so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys think about the M41A3 in the comments below. Is it good, bad, or something in between? Was I spot on with this review, or was I totally wrong? I want to know. But either way, thanks again, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.